happening?
This week it is Mr. Dog's Choice, Terminator 2, which, is Terminator 2. Doesn't need much description. But we'll usually kick it off with the news.
Yeah, there's not a lot to lose this time. Like obviously the world is the way the world's been in 2020, but I do have
Yeah,
some news I can fire across that we can hopefully discuss for a little bit. Two small ones, and then there's probably a decent sized one. So the first one is unfortunately the actor who was in the suit for the original Star Wars has passed away.
yes.
Obviously, he was not the voice of Darth Vader, but he was basically like the stature of Darth Vader. So there's been a lot of tributes, obviously, by a lot of Star Wars fans, a lot of people, which is good to see because, like, obviously, back then people wouldn't have known that they would just think it's probably the guy that does the voice. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
could have just been forgotten about by the world because he's just the man in the suit.
Yeah, David Prowse.
But
Was his name.
he's like the stature of Darth Vader. If you ever see a picture of Darth Vader, it's just his built stature of that menacing walking towards you.
Yeah.
Um,
He was a big dude, like, big,
yeah,
big dude.
wow, Darth Vader is a big dude. So,
Yeah. I
so
remember
I think all the tributes have been fantastic, and it's well deserved because.
I remember it was also the Green Cross Code man. I always remember
Mhm.
that shit. And I always remember the fact that, like, it's a bad side yet, but I remember, I can always remember the story. He's the guy that chose to take the money instead of the image rights, but it's still,
Yeah,
which
yeah, I heard
sucked.
about that.
But I heard he got a big payout anyway, like later on once he realised how much money people were getting. So it's not like he had a hard life for it. But man,
No, I think
I
he was
heard,
obviously he was at conventions and that because he
yeah,
could always be like he is technically Darth Vader. Like
yeah.
yes, obviously, James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader, but he is Darth Vader.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
reading a post about Hamill said that he was also those guys who goes to conventions and he'd take extra time with each fan, which was I think that's fucking cool. You know what I mean?
exactly, and I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
who I would love to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like
Imagine
I'd
shaking
fucking
Darth Vader's hand.
Darth Vader's an absolute like one of the most iconic people
Villains.
when like
It's the
or
most iconic
just
villain
iconic
ever.
characters in history.
Yeah, I would happily.
So yeah, I rest in peace that man. But
Yeah.
again, all the tributes have been fantastic. So it's it's
R.I.P. to
good to
David
see.
Prowse.
Yeah, there's nothing worse when something like that happens and it's just forgotten about.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving on to Extraction 2 will be filming next year. The Russos are just finishing off the script, so it's basically confirming there's going to be another Extraction. That is the sort of
Chris,
John Wickish
John Wick, Chris
Netflix film that came
Hemsworth.
out this
Yeah.
year. Yeah, I firmly believe like it's good. I agree, it's good. I watched it. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you watched
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I watched it. I feel like it was
I
good.
think I think that it gained popularity due of pandemic. Like
Yeah,
everybody's stuck in the house, and then the only new thing to see is a new thing that gets put on Netflix, and it bumped it up a bit. Not that I think it's bad, and the action's filmed really well because the guy who did it was the guy who filmed it was the stunt double, who's like the stunt coordinator on the Avengers stuff for the Russos, and they
yeah,
just
yeah,
gave him a chance to actually do a film. So the action's filmed really well, like John Wick, because obviously the directors of John Wick are also stuntmen. They were like the Matrix stuntmen. Um, so like you can see the action's filmed really well, and he knows what he's doing with like car chases and like fighting in buildings and gunfights. It's just that obviously, like for me, maybe the story was a bit sort of like it's nothing we've never seen before.
yeah.
It's not
It was just
nothing
singular
magical.
minded. Just move, move,
Yeah,
fight. Yeah. Well, it's just fine because
but it was still.
even the first John Wick was that type of way. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
was very once you go past some of the hotel bits, it was kind of just hands on. That's it, which made it very popular. And clearly, this
That's the
done
thing.
well.
Like nobody's watching Extraction for the story.
Story.
Like nobody's like obviously it's enjoyable. There's intrigue, but nobody's watching it for like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. You want to see Chris Hemsworth do like beat the shit out of a bunch of children in a room because I'm pretty sure that happens in the film. But yeah, that's why I think that became very popular. With it is good, the action's good, and obviously it definitely helped with everybody being stuck inside.
Yeah, I'll watch the second one. I'd like to see where
No,
they go
true.
with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like, especially because it had maybe not unknown, but
hmm
very little known about characters beside him, like that does. Um,
There was a lot of like sort of foreign actors because of it's set in India, so I think there's a lot of like sort of Indian actors in there which were also really
yeah,
good. You know that guy who like goes after him but then becomes his friend?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. He's also good at like action. He was good at that. And then there's obviously the sort of Sonny, the sort of character he's looking after. I thought he was really good. There's cheeky Dave Harbour in there, which I remember.
Yeah,
The only problem is that I feel like you know how it became really popular. You know how it ends with the whole massive fight on that like bridge freeway
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I feel like obviously with it being super popular, they did another one, but you could see that maybe they were just thinking about not the way that
yeah,
they ended it because it's
yeah.
like, is he alive? Is he not alive? You know?
I love that this got like obviously during the pandemic, Warzone became a massive thing, right? And I like that a meme of this film made a lot of people want to see it because there's one like a meme going about with the kid standing and it's like the guy who won with one kill and it's Chris Hemsworth who's half dead and bleeding and all that shit and it's like 20 kills in second place. Like that meme just took off and I think people jumped on it like, whoa, fuck, what film's this? And obviously it's garnered a reputation for its action scenes, so people have jumped on it and it was worthwhile. You know what I mean? It's worth the. It was well timed, to be fair. You know what I mean? I'm
Like I
quite
say,
glad.
it's definitely gained uh, popularity due to the circumstances of this year. More than not that more than I think it deserves. It's just like of how things have sort of landed. A
Yeah.
lot of Netflix shows have become like massive due to everybody being stuck inside can only watch streaming services. So, in the last bit of news we'll move on to, which is quite an interesting one, especially because it ties into a lot of stuff that's been going around lately,
Mhm.
is that Alfred Malonia is apparently in talks to reprise his role as, or play another version of Doc Ock in Spider-Man MCU 3.
Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen that there's been photos of him on set, which I'm happy for. I still think he's the best version of Doc Ock we've had in any
Like,
shape
well,
or
he's been
form.
the only really live action version of Doc
Y-
Ock we've had. Well,
yeah,
because yeah, it's Into the Spider Verse is animated, so.
yeah. Like, but I feel like even in a sense of how the character was written in the comics, I feel like even the
Mhm.
animation never really got it right.
Mhm.
Um, and I do. I think he's an amazing actor, character, and
Oh, I
hopefully,
think he's really good in it. I only have one problem with Doc Ock, and it's not because of the movies. It's just Doc Ock in general. I have a problem with it. I like the character, but I just have a singular problem with it that bugs me. Is that Doc Ock is just a man with robotic arms.
yes, a genius.
So why is Spider-Man when he beats the shit out of him should be just how it deals with a normal man?
Because he's got like metal arms and he's a
Yes, but
genius.
I know I get that, but the arms are what makes him strong. It's not
Yeah,
him. He hasn't become strong. It's the arms that are. So when Spider-Man punches actual Doc Ock, it should be like if he punches a random guy in the street.
yeah. You should just knock him straight
So,
out with one hit.
yeah, so either Spider-Man pulls his punches, or somehow having metal arms makes you more tough.
Yeah, I would say so. More than likely. Think about it, you go try and punch this guy in the face, it hits you away with his metal arm.
Yeah,
Uh,
I get that, but if you actually hit him, it's like the game. You remember the game?
yeah,
How the Doc Ock is like an absolute weakling and falls apart, and the whole point of him making the arms is so he's not going to be basically an immobile person.
yeah.
But Spider-Man has to properly beat the shit out of him when he gets the metal arms.
Maybe he loses all feeling in his nerves when he's electrocuted and the things connect him, so you have to keep hitting him. You know what I mean?
Maybe, or if Spider-Man pulls his punches. Like I don't. It has to be
I think
that.
Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man definitely pulls his punches
Because
against
like
normal.
he's got enough power to stop a train. Like he would break that man's face in one hit.
Is it stop the train or hold the
It's still
unbreakable
powerful.
webs. You know what I mean, he's kind of just
It's still
holding.
strong. It's still in. He
He's
can hold
got
a boat
he's
together.
got a.
He can pick up a car if needed be. But apparently, if he punches an older man in the face who has robot arms, it doesn't do anything.
I don't care that you remind me of my Uncle Ben. Ah.
It's just a problem. It's just a problem I have with Doc Ock. But right. So, how do you feel about this whole bringing people back from other Spider-Man films to play the villains again?
See, I'm okay with it because I feel like they're going down the magic route. So I don't think it's bringing people back to play like different variations of the character. I think it's literally going to be.
Because I think it's too early for Into the Spider-Verse live action.
Nah, mate. I think they're jumping straight in it. I think
it's too early. Yeah.
I think we're getting an Ultimate Universe joining together with a fucking the normal universe. That's how we're going to get Miles Morales. That's how we're going to get Galactus. That's how we're going to get Kang the Conqueror.
I still think they need to do. I still think they need to do the Sinister Six before they do more Spider-Man.
I don't know, man. I honestly,
because if they do it all in one film, the Sinister Six and all the Spider-Man, is that too bloated? Because remember when they put 40 villains in Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and everybody fucking hated it?
Yeah. Wait, was that not 3?
That was 2. They didn't do a third one, remember?
Oh yeah, my bad.
Because remember, the third one's like the second one is a set-up movie to the Sinister Six and third one.
Yeah.
Because they tried to chuck too many shit at the wall. And if they do it in this, like again, Marvel can cope with it better than Sony, but it's still the same thing.
Yeah. No, I think they'll get away with it. I think it's the whole. I feel like we're gonna get a whole lot of answers when WandaVision comes out. Like, well, all right, she broke the multiverse,
which I'm looking forward to. I think that's really good. Although, speaking of that, since we can keep this news rolling, have you heard the rumor that Ultron's going to appear in WandaVision?
Yeah, I heard that too. Which means they're bringing back James Spader.
So I think that if Ultron does appear, it'll be like a nightmare sequence.
Yeah.
It'll be like her remembering basically Vision's becoming of what he started as.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some sort of like, it's not going to be real Ultron. It's going to be like a vision of Ultron, but he won't be able. He'll still be a threat, but he won't be a threat to everyone else. It'll just be in her mind, if you know what I mean. Because obviously, I think the show's set in her mind in general, but we'll cross that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes out. But I'd be interested to see the Ultron come back because like he's probably in the worst Avengers film.
I just want to see someone try to choke him out again.
Well, what do you mean who's trying to choke him out like?
Captain America on top of the train.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah, right. And there's a robot on that, isn't it?
Yeah. I love it when people are like, if you ever feel stupid, just remember Captain America tried to choke out a robot.
I never thought of that, but it was maybe he has like metal jugular.
Aye, mate. You just try. It's just the minute I say Captain America and did something wrong, you're like, no, that's metal
what was
jugular.
He choking him with the shield?
No, it was with his arms.
Maybe he was trying to take his head off.
Aye, Captain America never ever fucking rips anything to pieces, but he's like, Ken, what? I'm going to take this fucking.
He's a robot. It doesn't count. Robots aren't humans. That doesn't count. They beat up thousands of robots, thousands of everything. Doesn't count.
Harsh.
So that's all I have for news. Really, they're not a lot. More, just a couple of things I wanted to add.
We did say it. We said it for the last couple of episodes. COVID's really just took the news away from it. Besides fucking horrible people stealing all the PlayStation 5s, there's nothing else really going to it. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. I agree. I 100% agree. We're not gonna. I don't think we should talk about it that much, but yeah, we're still on the try to acquire a PlayStation 5 trade.
Yeah, any of you guys out there, fuck you. Anyway, moving on.
Want to talk about the film?
Yeah, before I get angry, Mr. Doy's Choice of the Week: the Christian Bale Terminator. Nah, sorry.
I hope you didn't watch that one because that was the wrong one.
No, Terminator 2: Judgment Day. Hey, I'm Arnold and I talk English now. The 1991 classic.
So, best Terminator film? Like, question. There's no consider of it is question or not question. Yeah. Best Terminator film, like followed by the first one. followed by all the rest can be in one category.
Shit that shouldn't happen. No.
Uh, so, I mean,
Since it's your film,
one question
right?
I have to ask before we talk about this film.
Alright, okay.
Since obviously this is our last Arnold trifecta where we pick a category a month and we get as much in as possible.
Yes.
Do you consider this the best Arnold Schwarzenegger film? Because, like, in my opinion, I think it is. Like, it's obviously Predator is very close.
Yeah.
Total Recall, The Running Man are really good, but like, I don't know. I think I consider this might possibly be the best.
I could probably right there with you, mate. That or The Sixth Day or two of my like.
Sixth Day.
I like The Sixth Day, mate.
The Sixth Day is good, but like the best.
I don't know, man. It's just it had
I mean,
a lot.
obviously,
Like,
everybody has their opinion. They're entitled to their own. By the way, if you hear some noise in the background, my cat's decided to investigate everything about him, so you might hear some noise. But yeah, I mean, everybody has it. But I'd say this, and I think this has to be the best Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
yeah. I can go with that. Especially when you add in everything like for his range and how he acts and the fact that he's like 1 minute a fucking one set a zombie robot pretty much, the next like to having emotions and actually having a relationship with John Connor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I may as well just I'll go through this. I'll start it. Usually, obviously, the person who picks the film is usually the one that kind of talks through it.
Yeah, so what's it about, Fraser? Tell us what this 1991 hit Terminator 2 Judgment Day. What is it about?
Well, I mean, it's kind of just the title. It's about good Terminator versus bad Terminator trying to stop Judgment Day.
Yeah. Two Terminators, Judgment.
Two Terminators.
I see what you did there.
So, we talk about the opening where we get to see the future for how do you feel watching this, seeing them all now? Like, because obviously I watched this film when I was like younger a lot. Like I loved this film. It was great.
Yeah.
But like obviously there was maybe Terminator 3, but there wasn't like Salvations, and then Genesis, and then Dark Fate, and whatever.
Yeah.
So seeing all them now and looking back on this, since we've seen like the future 1,000 times.
Yeah. It's literally the same scene either it's on a fucking beach, a fucking city. Like it's all the same. Like
Is the angry John Connor who says fuck all the best John Connor?
Yes. By far, he's the best one.
The best adult John Connor.
Yeah.
He looks the toughest.
Yeah.
He looks like the one who could deal with shit.
Looks like the only one that's actually able to do anything. You know what I mean? Like every single one we get is just a fucking pile of shit stains. Like
yeah, because we had Christian Bale.
Yep.
Who is the angry John Connor, but he's
Yep.
not angry at Terminators. He's angry at people who puts up lights.
Yep.
And then there was obviously the hugely, massively spoiled John Connor, who becomes a Terminator in Genesis.
Yep.
And then who is John Connor in Dark? No, John Connor is in Dark Fate. John Connor is just non-existent. John Connor gets murdered as a child.
You gotta love these films,
You gotta love where they went, but
yeah.
I'd say so. This is probably the opening with it, and her talking over it is really good. And then we have Arnie's introduction. It just kicks straight into Arnie introduction.
Yeah, his little electric bubble, which I love that. I still to this day love that fucking bar scene. When he's just walking about,
so
he's like,
good,
I
man.
want your clothes.
I just hate see when I was watching it, and I love it. I love that bar scene the same as you. I hate I couldn't get the third one out of my mind. You know, the really, really fucking bad one.
Yeah.
And it also because they try to do it again, but he goes into like a male strip club, and then it's like funny glasses, and it's just so stupid. Where this one is just right. I asked this question to my wife because I was watching it for her. Right?
Uh-huh.
Do you think the Terminators are anatomically correct?
Yes.
Because like all the ladies are looking.
Yeah, that I think they've given him a schwang, like because they're just like
it's
they
a
look
strange
at
thing
them.
to talk about. But
Yeah, it'd be different if they were like looking at his face and his body and like, ooh, and then they looked down and they had like a shocked face. But it's the fact that they kind of all just went straight down, like, oh no!
But I know the Terminator's not going to be naked for a lot, so what would be wrong if they gave him like a Ken Smooth bit? Like what? Like what would be the difference?
Because they'd have to put a pair of pants on him for him to walk about. You know what I
Right,
mean?
I'm gonna. You might hear some noise because I'm getting rid of my cat because it's been an asshole.
Don't, don't throw your cat.
Get out. Right. Okay, so yeah, so when he's walking through naked, they're all staring at him. He goes
Aye.
up to that guy, asks for his clothes, his boots, and his motorcycle. Great, the cat can open the door. Fantastic.
I love that this episode's just going to be you getting hounded by a fucking cat. Harassed, sorry, not hounded, what the fuck I'm talking about. Harassed by a cat. That's the best thing. But yeah, he's definitely got a swang. You know what I mean?
Right.
Also,
but yeah, that's fair enough.
right. I love that scene where he's like, these guys hit him and he's just throwing him about. But it's the guy who comes at the end and he's like, I can't let you take his bike. And I'm like, you just seen this guy throw fucking 3 people around and break somebody's hand and get
I
stabbed.
think it's because he has a gun that maybe makes him think it's a bit more hingy.
Yeah.
But he just, like, I wouldn't deal with it. I think we talked about in a previous episode about how people decide to pick fights with Arnold Schwarzenegger and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
No. Even now,
Being
I'd
a
still
Terminator or not a Terminator, I wouldn't do it.
No.
I wouldn't do it now when the man's in his 70s.
I feel like the guy's probably got hands like shovels. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just damps it right in your head and just squeeze your little brain. Like that's... Yeah. And then he just sets off. Got the bike, sets off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Got...
So
I'm surprised.
we're
Two seconds. I'm surprised they didn't do the classic where a person's a robot and they're sitting on a motorbike and they're like remember Wolverine? Because he gets adamantium and he sits down and the fucking motorbike like crunches under him pretty much. I'm so surprised they've never done that. But yeah, moving on, we've got the introduction of the T-1000.
Liquid Boy.
Liquid Boy!
So obviously the main running theme because the first Terminator is the humans against the Terminator, and then from then on it's Terminator against Terminator, and not 9 times out of 10, apart from Generations, it is always a weaker model taking on a more powerful model every single time.
Yep.
It's the Liquid Boy, and then the Lassie one, and then obviously, and there's still kind of some in Generations, and then in Genesis it's like weird future metal, and then in the new one it's like carbon fiber.
Yeah.
But it's always like it's always a weaker Terminator fighting a stronger Terminator. But in my opinion, this is the best one. Because it is advanced, but it's not too far-fetched advanced.
Yeah, and also the fact that it's not stronger. Like you can tell that Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is made just for straight fucking force. Mm-hmm. But this one,
its whole thing is the liquid. It's like the sort of flexibility. Because obviously, like later on with the Lassie, she's got like weirdly different shit, and then obviously the futuristic one has like there's the John Connor one has even weird, and then the carbon fiber can like duplicate himself, and all those stuff is really cool, but it still feels like it's a fair fight in this one, even though they're Terminators. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Like it's slightly the Liquid Boy is slightly advanced, where he can deal with situations better, but it's not like it's basically not me running at you with a stick while you've got a cannon.
Yeah, and it's like he thinks more. She's like, okay, I need to go to this person, I need to go to that person, I need to use this equipment. Oh, that's a nice bike. You know what I mean? Like he's always changed. He's using his brain more than his fucking brawn. Whereas Arnold Schwarzenegger just kind of walks through and throws people.
Yeah, like he could never just open a car door. He has to put his fist through it. It's just like he goes commando. It's just everything's brute force.
Yeah, he rips the fucking like starter hang, and the boy's like, John Connor's like, here's the keys, and he's like, okay. Like
so like that's why I like this one, because it still feels like it's like I say, like a fair fight. Obviously, we're going to talk about someone who doesn't appear until like basically the last one, which is Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor.
Yeah,
she's really good in this. I think that she sort of holds her own. She's not that damsel in distress from the first one. She is a badass.
Yeah, she plays the role of someone that's been put in a mental home very well. Especially when you see like the wee clips of her like getting interviewed and she has a breakdown, and like even her fight scenes with the guards, I think she shows that she's a person that's went through something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
I like the fact that they give us little snippets where John's like, oh, we should have dated this guy to teach me something, dated this guy to
Mm.
teach me something. You know what I mean? Like, I like how they set a background without actually showing us that she's done all this stuff. So that was good. I enjoyed that. But,
Um, what do you think of? Well, we may as well talk. What do you think of the young John Connor, Eddie Furlong?
uh, I, I, I liked the character. I just
Hmm.
hated the guy's voice as a kid. I don't know
Okay.
why. Like, I feel like his voice really annoyed me, but I felt like the character was good and the acting was good. I like the fact that he instantly just thought that I need to change him. I had to make him better. I had to make him not want to just kill everybody. I also love that the Terminator just kind of shoots people and he's like, "Oh, I'm not killing them. I'm shooting them in the leg." Like,
I love it. I love that whole thing after he says don't kill him, and even near the end, and I know we're obviously jumping ahead, which we tend to do. Like near the end with the tear gas, he still shoots them all in the leg.
yeah,
Like he doesn't actually kill them, which I do love. I agree with you. So obviously we see the scientist with the chip in the hand and that like the start of
Cyborg's dad.
Skynet.
Ironically,
We need to
ironically, ironically, Joe Morton, aka Miles Dyson, is Cyborg's dad for Justice League.
That is ironic. um, so the one thing we have to talk about before we move on to like the first big action scene, the music, man. The music is so fucking good. Not only have we got like Guns N' Roses as like one of the main tracks on it.
Yeah.
You Could Be Mine, but we've also got the total dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun
see when he's
dun
getting chased with the like John's on the motorbike and he's getting chased by the T1000 the truck. I love
yeah.
that. Like it just kind of goes like goes into it, slows down
Mhm.
and quick. I fucking loved that bit. Like it was a great build up. I feel like a lot of these old films have very good scores. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's the classic. Because obviously, looking forward to the new Terminators. It's like the whole like dun 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 dun.
yeah,
That is like a ominous with Terminator. But I love the bit after it, which doesn't happen anymore. I'm pretty sure. You know the no no no. That whole like sort of soft piano. Like, I don't think it's a
yeah,
piano, but you know the bit I'm talking about.
yeah.
Like it's usually just the total thud of Terminator. That like that's the used as the most known one. But I just sometimes I feel it's a tad bit overused in this because they use it quite a lot. The dun 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 dun.
Yeah, it seems like anytime
Uh,
anything was happening, it was like, here we go, this is the sound. And it's
but
like,
there's a few moments where I think it like obviously right at the end is very important, and you know like when like he fake dies but not dies, and that like is important. Um, so I do think that it's definitely brilliant, like the music.
yeah.
Yeah, so we may as well get to in the mall because obviously we meet John's foster parents who they seem nice, but he's a bit of a dick, I think.
Yeah, but that's that whole cliche of you're not my mom, you're not
You're
my
not my
dad,
real mom.
screw you, dad. You know what I mean? Like it's that scenario.
I'm running away.
You don't love me like my mama does. You know what I mean? That type of shit. Even though he's more like he thinks he's more of a fucking cunt, but anyway. Which is he has like a weird thing. Like to his friend, he's like, yeah, my mum's cool, but she's a total psychopath. And then suddenly it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, my mum was right. I need to help her.
Yeah, as soon
Um,
as he meets an actual Terminator, which makes sense because like everything, you're not going to believe because it sounds fucking crazy
I believe there's
what
robots
she's
out there
saying.
ready to kill us. I have a friend who
Um,
believes that all like see the people that got COVID, like all the celebrities, they've all been cloned, like killed and cloned, so they can be controlled by the
cool. Let's not
masses.
talk about
But yeah,
that.
fucking he's a Trump supporter too. But anyway, moving on. Um,
So the fight in the mall, which then leads to the chase on the bike and the truck and the everything.
yeah, that poor guy standing in the hallway.
Yeah, he gets it
You know what
rough,
I mean? Like, get down. What? Gets ripped apart. I'm like, all right, you poor bastard. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so one thing I've always wondered about this, right, is that the Terminators are smart, okay?
Yes.
So they know that they're quite hard to terminate,
Yes.
right? And Arnold knows that he's a liquid Terminator.
Yes.
Why did they continue to shoot each other a bit though? Like, I get with the shotgun.
I think when it's to stop like shooting the T1 out, I don't think it's a case of he knows that he can't beat it, so he's just trying to slow it down to get away with John.
With shotguns usually helps. Like, usually if you want it to go somewhere, they'd shoot it with a fucking shotgun, because that happens about 3 times, I think, in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Just keeps... I like the fact that, like, he just reloads the coolest way ever. Like, he just flicks his wrist and then shoot.
Oh, man, that reload on the bike. So when they obviously kick onto the thing and they're chasing, and the T-1000 steals the truck, which is one of the best moments. Because one of the things I love about
First off, before we get into it, see when he's in the truck and he bursts over that bridge and goes down. I love the fact that you can see that the truck that fell and hit the ground is not the same truck, because when it hits the ground, it fucking crumbles and the thing kind of dies to the right and it suddenly it's pulled away. That's what I love about old films like this, whereas you can just see that they don't have the technology to edit it to a point where you don't notice it. So you get these wee bits like that truck was exploded, that window in the truck wasn't there. You know what I mean? And also the stunt double when like Arnie's moving about, and you look up and like, okay, it's not even close to being the same guy. Like, I love that shit for these films. Sorry for interrupting. On you go.
No, it's all right. So I love that in this bit you can, like, if you look for it, you can notice the stunt doubles. If you look for it, you can notice when, like, obviously, because it always cuts behind John when he's driving. It always, like, the big truck's got his windows blacked out, and then it always, every time, like, he shoots through a fence or drives around a really tight corner or does a jump, it goes to the back of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
You can obviously know which one's stunt double and not, but I just feel like it doesn't take away from it whatsoever. And like we were talking before with the fucking the reloading of the shotgun, it is like the most badass. Like, I don't even know how it makes sense.
Yeah, like straight flicking. Yeah, I didn't.
You play Call of Duty, you'll know better than me.
Bet fucking none of my fucking Call of Duty guns do that. I swear to God, they brought that shit and I'd be doing that all the time. Just flickety shoot, flickety shoot. You know what I mean? Cam, you don't need to reload that much. I don't care. I just want to flickety shoot. You know what I mean? I also love the fact that it just does it and then shoots straight away. Like, oh, it's so fucking. I wonder how much.
It's honestly the most badass way of reloading ever. Like,
yeah,
has to be.
I wonder how much training they done for it.
More if I thought about it. Obviously, then we get our first look at what happens when you blow up the T-1000, which is nothing.
Yes. I love the fact that it reacts to the wheel. And he's like, And he keeps on going.
He definitely knows that it's not coming back. He knows that it's coming back. Because, like, the liquid does melt, and it's the whole point of the situation. Like, blowing him up is actually the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how hot it is, because obviously okay, what do we move on to next? So obviously he then has the conversation and finds out, like you're saying, that basically he has to do whatever he does. He tells him not to kill. He, like, makes fun of him, like, tells him to lift his leg. And, like, he says, well, you were going to kill that guy. So, well, yeah, I'm a Terminator. Like, think about it logically.
It's straight up his fact, like, yeah, well, that's in my name. That's all I know. Like, I love the fact that it's like, you reprogrammed me, but you didn't, like, the old John Connor didn't go, don't kill people. Like, clearly the old one was like, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Well, it's the Terminator. He just has he basically said, protect me. It doesn't really matter what happens to there as long as he survives. And then the foster parents get killed. The mum is killed off screen, and that's what the dog's clearly barking at. And the dad gets it rough. Not the roughest death by the T-1000.
No,
but
definitely not.
It's still rough.
I love the fact that he tricks them. Like, he does his voice thing and he tricks them and he says the name. I love that. Like, that was a good way to do it. Good way to catch him out, the little bastard.
What was I going to say? Because you were talking, which we've never seen before ever about Terminators duplicating voices. That's like that. It's like a sort of one-time special Superman power that he can pull out of nowhere and then never uses again.
Yeah, like Superman can make a copy of himself that they get smaller every time, like that type of shit.
Yeah, exactly. So Terminators could, like, do voices, but it just never comes up again.
I love that John was just like, what?
Yeah. So if so obviously he says he wants to get his mum out. We want to get
Yeah,
Sarah out. She's like in the middle of escaping already because obviously his son's missing.
yeah,
Uh, the doctor, I kind of hate the doctor. I know that it's like he's never going to believe, but you know, as the audience, I think you're meant to sort of hate and including the creepy, weird person who's looking after her that puts her back in the cell as well. Like I don't even know why they put that in. Like,
yeah. I
you know what I
don't.
mean? Like
I think.
it has no consequence.
Yeah,
It's just someone else who's a dick.
I think it was just one of those fucking comeuppance moment. You know what I mean? Like they just add it in for comeuppance,
Maybe
which
to
is
not so when she's escaping and beating up innocent people, it's not like doesn't make you feel sorry for the mental, like the people that work there.
yeah, pretty much.
Maybe I think
'Cause,
that's maybe the reason behind it.
yeah,
But
especially
the
because
boy that gets stabbed in the eye by the T-1000,
that's
that's
the
the rough
rough.
one.
That's the
That's rough.
roughest. Like I love how like when it drops, no one notices.
Yeah, especially because it's really not that far. Because like she's at talking distance.
Yeah, like they weren't shouting at each other. It's
Yeah,
like,
they were literally having a conversation. But when he drops I'm assuming the T-1000 killed her too.
no,
It doesn't really.
no, mate, I'm sure he's just walking out. Well, what would be the point in changing it to that guy if you're just going to
Yeah,
set kill everyone? You know what I mean? Like I feel like
that's a good
he's
point.
genuinely just walking about.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he does. But he does put the body in a closet, does he not?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No, he does. I can't remember.
yeah. It does.
Here we go. Right, so coming up to one of my favourite bits in the film. Right, so where she's obviously escaping, she's got the scientist by the neck. She's like getting out. When she gets to the elevator, Arnie walks out,
Oh, her
and she
reaction.
just fucking like her just terrified reaction of like the fear that instantly fucking kicks in. Because
Yeah,
obviously he looks exactly like the last model who was sent to kill her instead of be a friend.
yeah,
Um, I love it. I think it's because obviously, like, she doesn't. She never trusts it. I think she doesn't trust it up until like the end.
yeah.
But
Is
it's just
this
there's just
is this
terrifying.
is this the film where it's the first time he says that "Come with me if you want to live"?
I think it is, man.
Yeah,
I think that's the start because obviously in the one before that, well, I think that I can't remember, but I think the dad in Reese in the first film says it to her when he finds her.
oh yeah. I
But
think
then obviously Arnie started saying it because he became good.
yeah. Then Amelia Clark said it in that one that everybody loves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, we all loved Terminator films.
Oh my god.
And then obviously the Liquid Terminator, we get like.
I love the gun.
Then he starts using finally starts using his he starts using like knives and stuff in his hands.
Yeah.
Which for some reason at the start he just forgets. Like it's only till they mention it that like
Yeah,
he
it's like,
starts
oh my
doing
god,
it.
I've got this shit. Yeah. Also, I love the fact that he tried to go through the door and then his hand gets caught. He's like, huh? Oh, what's happened here? Like, I love that moment. It's giving them like
I
a
love when
couple
he gets
minutes.
shot in the head and his head just fucking
Goes back
like just
together.
just splits in half. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about the effects? Because obviously James Cameron directed it, and
I
he's usually like
I think
he's
the
like on the
effects held
cusp.
up, mate. I feel like
They
the
do it.
effects, besides the fact that how like at the beginning where all the fucking other robots look like just toys walking across a field, I think it
Mm.
looked pretty fucking good. Like his, especially
Yeah,
like, maybe the face bit was a bit out of reach, but the arms looked really cool. Like every time, I feel.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think obviously James Cameron is usually like he likes to be like on
The
the cutting
cusp.
edge of technology. Yeah, like the closest you can get to like before it's not physically possible.
Yeah,
So I think that's why I think it still holds up because he obviously takes a lot of time when it comes to the effects, and you would have obviously choosing to do a Liquid Terminator. You're obviously deciding you're already going to do some sort of effects.
yeah, definitely.
But like, God knows, because it could be what goes on in that film could have been really difficult back then, but really fucking simple now. But
He
yeah,
was on the
I
ball.
agree with you. I still think it holds up.
Yeah, he was on the ball with it, and it was good. It worked out well.
Obviously,
Uh,
then they start chasing him, which of like with the chasing. Obviously, so the T-1000 is clearly faster than Arnold because I mean Arnold's not much of a runner. He's kind of
yeah,
like he's too big to run. He kind of sort of shuffle runs. But like that T-1000 runs like Tom Cruise.
yeah. Ken the
Like
actor
he
went
kills.
through a regiment to breathe only with his nose, so he could fucking run faster without fatigue. Like that's dedication. Like
That is
that's
dedicated. That makes sense because that,
yeah.
that again, that is like Tom Cruise running right there. Like
Again, Robert Patrick is a good actor. Like,
how do you feel about so they're all cleaning each other up and he sort of goes more into sort of dialogue because obviously in the late because you know how he says like oh Terminator's last so on and so forth and that made me think of the new one you know because he's like an older Terminator and
yeah.
that like
Is that
obviously
is
looking in hindsight.
see in that one? Is that I was gonna say is that this one? This one? I don't know. Show my face.
No,
Go.
it's not the
So
same
yeah,
one, but it's the same. It's kind of so it's like they send back the same model to make them feel comfortable, and then gets rid of him, and then it's like a different one, but it looks exactly like him.
yeah. No, I mean like the one in the new film, like the newest
Yes,
film. Is that this one of these ones?
yes, it's the same. It's the same model
Right.
as him
Right.
because you know how obviously they then realize that he loves the Terminator, so they send another one that looks like Arnie to get rid of the other John Connor because he'll trust it,
Yeah.
and then he regret, and then he stays off and goes, but that's a whole different film.
Yeah.
So they obviously make it down to Mexico. They find her 1,000 fucking guns. We get a minigun sort of foreshadow.
Yeah.
But I have to at least talk about two bits in particular. One bit is the Judgment Day dream sequence,
Yeah. The longer one isn't it,
and
this one?
where they go to Dyson's house, like when she goes to Dyson's house.
Yeah.
So the Judgment Day dream sequence. I remember when I watched that when I was younger, and fuck, I always hated that sequence. I don't know why. I don't know if it didn't scare me, but it's not tonally different, but it's just like it's uncomfortable, and I think it's meant to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just like that whole like, oh my god, everyone's burning away. Yeah, I understand it when I was younger, like, but see now it was just her fucking reaction, like screaming at that moment. It's just like, oh my god.
Screaming at herself with a
Yeah,
young John Connor, and
yeah,
it's screaming while she's already on fire. I think that's kind of what would me total
yeah.
hate. Not I didn't hate it because like it wasn't done well. I hated it because it was too good. Of like this,
It's the impact of what it's meant to be.
yeah.
It was too good for it. Yeah, I get that. I understand.
And
But
obviously, her being the only one that survived the first film, and I think Reese basically explained Judgment Day too well for her, like, because it still haunts her
yeah, I
to
know.
this day.
Like the people will land, it'll blow up, and everyone will be burning. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Leave you.
exactly. Right.
Bye. You know,
Good luck.
our kid might die by this. Bye.
So, like, one question I want to ask you when it comes to Dyson,
Yeah.
right?
The guy probably quit his job on that place and made Hoovers. Get it?
Right. True.
Dyson.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
did
I get it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway.
I don't consider him bad. Do you consider him bad?
No, he's just a scientist who's found something he wants to create. Like he's on the cutting edge of his field. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that.
How do you feel about that they used the chip from the previous Terminator to help with the technology to make Skynet?
I like it. Like it makes sense because I love like this is like I missed it, but like when we were talking about when she was in the psych ward and he's the doctor Silverman's like oh blah blah blah. She says her lover came back from the future, tried to save her because
Yeah.
the robots and the lass is like oh how original. I like that they put that in because it's literally just the same type of story done again. You know what I mean? I like that they put that in, and I like the fact that they went here's the arm of the Terminator, and here is the chip. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The doctor should have understood the minute the people went, "Don't ask where it came from." That's when you go,
Yeah. Where did it come from?
maybe this is why we're working in like New Mexico area, like because we're doing shit we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Very true. Uh, so obviously, then we get so they save the mum because the mum tries to take out Dyson, which I kind of don't like her in that point because I feel sorry for Dyson, but I understand where she's coming from.
Yeah,
Because there's a couple of times where like I enjoy Sarah Connor, I think she's really good, but then other times I'm kind of like, this is a John Connor story, love. Like maybe back off a bit.
yeah,
Like it's just that sort of feeling of like I don't know. It's not like it's not the story kind of makes it about her,
sorry,
but she kind of makes her mission more important
yeah,
than saving John.
yeah.
Where
It's
the whole
like when
movie
he
is
was
about
like,
saving John.
it's like when he was like, you need to listen to me because that's you said I'm the leader. Fuck me, I can't. Oh, can't stop fucking
It's fine,
yawning.
man. You got it on.
But aye, like it's meant to be his show and he's meant to be the leader. She should follow him,
Yeah,
and it's like she can't let
yeah,
go of the reins. You know what I mean?
no,
She's
yeah,
ready to
exactly.
die,
She
but
can't.
because of
Yeah,
it.
she wants to start Judgment Day, thinking that'll save everybody, but then she's too busy putting her actual savior of the universe, who technically will become
Yeah,
if Judgment Day happens. Because obviously this is one thing. Because obviously it happens no matter what. Like,
yeah,
if you look at the future films, like, unfortunately, it does happen no matter what.
yeah,
Judgment Day. Like,
yeah,
even if they stop it, it just happens again with a different sort of fucking AI.
yeah. But
Obviously,
it's that whole theory of if you got rid of Hitler, would none of this happen type shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's
somebody would
that.
just come along,
Yeah,
but he'd be called like Hitler, but he'd be started with a different letter.
yeah,
So yeah, I get that. It's the whole like you can't really stop it if it's meant to happen. And I know that obviously in hindsight you know that, but then like I agree with you. She should have like focused on keeping him safe and like you don't like just stop being selfish basically.
yeah.
That's what I agree with. But if she didn't be selfish, we wouldn't get. Obviously, we have to talk about when he takes his arm off first. But
I love that. Love that bit.
Dyson's wife is like fucking horrified.
Yeah. Like, oh my god! But what after I get is why doesn't Dyson? He doesn't react like he's seen that arm before. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like taken aback by it, but he doesn't really like, oh my god, that's the same arm or something like that.
I love his reaction too when he gets told about everything that's going to happen because it's like, well, how was he meant to know?
Yeah.
It's true, like how, and I get it. It's another moment where I dislike Sarah, where she starts going on that tirade about like
You man,
people.
you
Yeah,
men. You know,
I don't
yeah,
like that. I kind of block my mind for that.
yeah,
Because again, it's just another one of those moments where you're just like, shut the fuck up. I like you, Sarah. If you keep going like this, I'll
Yeah.
choose not to.
yeah.
So they're going to basically go blow up Skynet, and this basically is I'd say from when the police get called, is a huge action sequence right up to the end.
Yeah. Just a whole lot of shit happening.
So first we get Arnold with a minigun,
Which is just amazing. Then Arnold
Which,
with a
yeah.
grenade launcher.
which I still like. I'm a bit sus about on like. There's no way he wouldn't hit everybody, but I guess he's a robot and he can hit in specific places with a minigun. But
I feel that shit would blow
Not-
all the cars up like.
yeah, not a single
Just-
fatality. Like,
Yeah, I know.
And then obviously Dyson gets killed. He gets shot, and he like blows himself up, but he gets shot. Because I couldn't remember if he lives or not, and then obviously it kind of answered the question for me.
Yeah.
The T-1000. So this is another thing that kind of not annoys me, but I just am confused a bit. So like they're all shooting, and they're shooting with the police. He pulls out the minigun. He starts blowing up the cars. They're like running through with the tear gas. The T-1000's just kind of driving about.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like just to make an effect. Like they're like, oh yeah, he's holding his own against his people. He seems like the bad guy. We're gonna make T-1000 kind of move around so people don't think about it. Moments, if you know what I mean. Like that's what I
And
think.
then obviously, like I think that maybe he thinks that the cops will just do their job, but I feel like that's not the Terminator way.
Yeah. Does like I can't remember. Does this impact like the third one? Right. Does does this get brought up? Like these moments? I can't remember. I've seen it. Not seen the third one. Fucking.
They talk about how they stopped Judgment Day,
Yeah.
but then obviously they say it's going to happen anyway. Or they act like it doesn't, but then it does. That's the whole point of the third one, where they're going to stop it again, but they're not actually going to stop it again. They just save John Connor and his wife, and then it happens again anyway.
I don't know if I rewatched
But no, like,
that.
this is just. I think that obviously, be the success of this one, James Cameron had no connection with the third one, and they didn't really know what to do. Because,
Yeah.
like, if you technically stop the whole point in it, like, you don't make another one.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was his idea. I'm guessing James Cameron's like, well,
No
why?
idea. I genuinely have no idea. I mean, it's a good way to end it because it's a damn good fucking film. Like, you don't get, there isn't a better Terminator.
Yeah, no, certainly there is certainly not a better one than that.
So the T-1000 gets in a helicopter. He tells that guy to get out, which is basically his version of, like, I'll be back, which is just not as good.
Yeah,
So the whole basically sequence of, like, helicopter fight and then getting in the cryo truck, and then the whole like the cryo truck spills over and he like gets like starts walking. Here's a question, right? Obviously, we all know about the Hasta La Vista, baby.
Yeah.
Literally makes like I love it, but it makes no fucking sense. But whatever. I still love it to this day. If you just leave that Terminator there, does it still have? Would he still melt, or would it stay frozen? Do you think? Because obviously, shattering him to bits, it was a lot easier.
Yeah.
But do you think it would have still melted? I asked my wife about this when we watched it, and she was like, "Well, yeah, it's still going to melt." But I don't know.
I doubt it. I mean, if that type of frozen, I just see it. Also, they should have just left it as a full thing so you could pick it up and carry it and throw it in the fucking flames, to be honest with you, but
True.
that's my two
That's
cents.
hindsight, but he does like straight ass the shatters him, one of the great moments.
Yeah.
And then he notices it coming back together like immediately.
Yep.
And like, oh shit, I better get the fuck out of here. So when they fight in the metalworks, it's the best fight between them. They sort of, because most of the other fights between them have been like shoving each other.
Yeah, it's like dick measuring competition pretty much.
But this one is like a proper fight.
Yeah.
Where they like, and obviously the upper model wins because Arnold gets the shit kicked out of it.
Yeah. Which you don't usually see with a big character versus a small character. You know what I mean? It's usually
it doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't even happen in the Terminator films anymore. It's usually
like you would look at the sorry about old news, but look at The Rock and Vin Diesel. They literally have in their contract that they cannot be shown getting beat in a film. Whereas this mega fucking superstar goes into this film clearly reading the end, says he gets his ass whipped, and he's like, "Yeah, perfect story, makes sense."
even as a huge man, that like a huge robot.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about it 1,000 times, and I will talk about it 1,000 times. The best heroes are the ones that get beaten and get back up.
Yeah, always.
Watching an indestructible person is not. It still can be entertaining at times, but it doesn't. You just never feel like there's any consequence to what's going on. The only film where I'd say where the person doesn't feel like he's not going to die and is entertaining is probably John Wick.
Aye, that's a whole.
Because John Wick's
thing.
not going to die, but it's still entertaining,
and
you still enjoy the fight sequences. But the ones where, like, I don't know what I can say off the top of my head. The most example I can come off the top of my head is like there's a lot of films where the good guy will get shot in the arm, and it'll just act like he just got fucking tickled by a feather.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those, like, the hero needs to be vulnerable. And even as a futuristic robot man, still feels like that whole thing of not wanting to give up to protect John against the Terminator. And you're basically like, you feel emotional and you feel great about a basically robot, which is again, a credit to the film and a credit to Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. And that's what makes this a good action film, because not only is the action fucking brilliant, the story's fucking brilliant, but you still feel like there is a fight.
Yeah. Good. The way they've done it too, it worked best. Like if it was straight down the line, Arnold got the ass, like he beat the ass of the guy, that would have been a shit ending for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that. So I'm glad that they've done it that way.
And like obviously, he thinks he's dealt with him. He puts the thing through him. He sort of dies, but doesn't die. Sort of comes back, but he's like whole arms missing. He's like fucking half of his face is gone. And then obviously she starts shooting the Liquid Boy with a shotgun because it's kind of the only way to get him to go anywhere. And then Arnold comes up on like a cog. And just shoots him with that thing and blows him up. And then he falls in the lava, which seems to be the best way to get rid of a Terminator. Is just drop it in the lava.
Yeah.
I think lava is a way to destroy. I think it happens quite a few times in the films. I still see, like, as much as the one-liners are a lot of dotted around this, I still love the whole like I need a vacation. But he's like, because he just looks like utter shit.
Yeah. It's because he played on it, mate. You know what I mean? He's like, oh fuck. Somehow he must have seen I think it's the showing the growth of the character since meeting John Connor. Because
Hmm.
if that moment, if they had put that in, I feel like he'd have just been like dying without a word, and I like that he's showing some emotion. I loved it.
Yeah, there's just it's just yeah, he's become more human. And then well, he decides to go in the lava, and we get the classic now meme everything to the thumbs up. You know, like going into the lava, the music, which is probably my best. Like that's I love when he's like going into the water and it's playing the music. Then it's probably my
Yeah,
best moment of the music.
it was just so good
Uh,
score wise, man.
it is, man. And then it
Oh
just that's kind of the end. It doesn't really go anywhere after that.
yeah, there's no Marvel
Um,
Easter eggs at the end.
no, there's no like. It's just kind of the end of it.
It's,
I like a little monologue about how like he was technically the best person and all that stuff,
yeah,
or it's our life or whatever. I can't remember what she says. So I mean, what are you giving out of 5?
5.
Me too.
It
Me too.
just
5.
it ticks so many boxes for me. You know what I mean? Like, end of the world, survival, strange fucking things coming to kill people. Ticks so many boxes, and add in a good story, good performance from the actors, and a good director, and good graphics. You know what I mean, good
For
CGI.
yeah, just for me, and it definitely, in my opinion, it's probably in the top 5 action films ever made.
Yeah,
Like there is a selection of action films for me that I think are like pinnacles where they do it just right in the full circle. Like so, this is one. Uh, the Matrix is another one. The Matrix is like the first Matrix where Neo is like not indestructible.
yeah, yeah. I like that.
Die Hard, obviously. Uh, The Dark Knight, which is a really good action film,
Yeah,
and what did I say there? I said The Dark Knight and Mad Max Fury Road for like the most up to date action movie. Like those 5 there are usually like with the top of my head when somebody says like action films. Don't recommend a good action film to me. Like those are like for the pinnacle for me because I love and I just like when a hero is in danger
yeah. Like it
for some
doesn't
reason. It
always
just
seem like he is. Like I love Superman, but it's always the reason I
mhm.
like Batman is because there's times where you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna get beat here, and he always wins it in the end, but he takes a fucking whooping to get there.
Exactly.
You
The
know what I mean?
best heroes are the one that gets back up again. The best, like obviously, I'll let you talk about it at the end, but the best, in my opinion, the best for that has ever existed about how a man gets just his ass kicked and looks like a heap of shit by the end of the film is Die Hard.
Yeah, definitely
Like,
Die Hard. Yeah,
so
most.
I've only got to ask you now, man. What you done lately?
Oh mate, I wish I could say it's any different, but it's no. But there was a reason for it, to be honest with you. But I've caught the same anime. You know what I mean? I'm still watching that Jujutsu Kaisen. Started catching up on Boruto. Uh, how is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon? It's not as dirty as it sounds, but it's a good
Okay.
anime. Started Mandalorian again for the beginning. Try to fucking actually get through that because somebody keeps bugging me about it. But I played Warzone because I had a Warzone tournament this weekend, and as much as hyped as I was for it, it was just a shit show. That's in my opinion because
Well,
it
I
just
mean,
wasn't set
like you
up
say,
too
you
well.
can always, you don't
Always try
always have,
again, different like
yeah.
join a different one. You know what I mean? But I just feel like if it was a tournament where the guy set a rule, but then like
Mm-hmm.
it benefited him more than anything because anyone that plays Warzone realize you're either gonna have fucking shotgun people, riot people, or sniper people. The riot shields will fucking help you against the snipers that are sitting up in the fucking hillside. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like they took the R90 away. I get it, it's OP, and then they took the riot shields away, but they're like, oh, we'll let you keep snipers though. So like, all it's half a lobby and a massive map, fucking, and half the cuts are sitting on buildings sniping. It's just it was poorly put together. So it was a kind of for me it was a waste of a night. But what you got to do? Can it be it? You know what I mean? That's why the things we're 10 days away from a game that's going to slightly take me away from Warzone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're 10 days away from Cyberpunk 2077.
Which,
Again, Blade Runner Fantasies, that's
woo.
all I'll be doing. Can only refer to me as Harrison Ford after then, or
Wow.
every time you speak to me, I'm going to go into a monologue, how Tears in the Rain,
I can't wait until we're
Bollywood
like,
was.
what you been up to lately? And we're like, well, we got our dicks measured. Sorry.
In real life, obviously, because that's what I do most weekends.
You got to test it. We're getting older now. But we're going to be
Yeah.
like fucking Cyberpunk this, Cyberpunk that. I changed my hair, I
Well,
changed my
man.
clothes. You know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to it. But
You
other
done
than
anything
that,
else?
mate, no, that's it, mate. Honestly, it's none changing. It's COVID 2020 year, like it's just took away everything. So, what about you? I know you've got more on your list than I do. What have you been up to lately?
Not super much myself. Obviously, I haven't been playing Call of Duty. I'm glad that continues. I have. I've mostly just been watching sort of stuff on TV. Like I've been continuing with The Mandalorian. I'm now going to not talk about it because you've started watching it. All I can say is fucking brilliant. So I'm glad it took you to this long to start watching it. You should have been watching it already.
You never watched it from the beginning, so did it come at me? Did it
I
come
don't know
at
what
me?
you're talking
Yep, pash.
Just been watching stuff with a wife on TV. Nothing. I think no movies
Oh,
that
aye.
I've like.
Nothing major's happened in your life, mate. It's fine. Just...
Well, no, it's mostly about like TV stuff that I've
I
been
know.
watching. About like nothing like that. I've been helping. So I finished Bloodborne. So because obviously I'm a from software, I finally did a Soulsborne. So I thought I would try another Soulsborne, and I got myself Dark Souls 3. Plays massively different to Dark Souls. It plays massively different to Bloodborne. So I'm still trying to get used to the combat. Because like most of in sort of Dark Souls, you kind of have to take your time. Where Bloodborne it rewards you for being aggressive, where this one punishes you for being aggressive.
Oh, you mean like we're on Bloodborne? You were like, Callum, I'll help you. Right, I'm going to run into these people. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, my bad.
Right, well, it happens. If you think
I've
you're not going to die,
completed this game. I've completed this game. I'm good. You know what I mean?
I'm good.
I'm Leroy Jenkins. Right into a bunch of people and died. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
So, like it rewards you for being aggressive in Bloodborne, but in Dark Souls, like you have to sort of pick and choose your moment to attack.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fucked me a lot of times because I'm so used to like just getting in there, getting some attacks, getting the fuck out. Where this one, you get in a few attacks, you get hit, and you die.
Yeah.
Especially there was a boss last night. It's called Pontiff. I had someone come and help me to eventually, but I was on my 13th try,
Yeah.
and he was fucking destroying me. Like the first time I fought him, I think I hit him twice.
Wow.
Got there in the end though. Like so, I would say let's see where I don't know where I am. I want to say I'm almost halfway, but not quite there yet.
Halfway there. Yeah.
So I'm still enjoying it. Like I've not got to. I got past that first guy, like I couldn't do before.
That's good.
So, like I'm definitely enjoying it. It's just if you were to basically if you were to say to me, here's Dark Souls and here's Bloodborne, you can only ever play one again, I would choose Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I think I prefer Bloodborne, but I still enjoy Dark Souls. Apart from that, nothing much. Nothing much again, just like yourself. Just going to be playing Cyberpunk when it comes out. Just watching some TV.
Yeah.
And that's it, really. So,
Sweet.
do you want to talk about what we're going to do for the month of December?
Right. Since we thought I had more weeks than what it was, there's only really three videos that we can make up on Christmas. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a film for the first week, and then we're going to do Fraser's favourite film, which whoever listens to this video
Christmas
will know
film.
what it is. Christmas
film, not
Christmas
favourite
film. Yeah, it's December. People, if you didn't understand favourite, like, you know what I mean? If you didn't understand it, then to be fair, they're the same film, Fraser. So you don't need to correct me. Literally the same film.
No, it is it's one of my favourite films of all time.
And move on to the week after, just before Christmas. It'll be my favourite Christmas film, right? So we're going to kick it off next week. What was it we said? Was it A Wonderful Life we chose?
We're going to go with a proper classic Christmas film before we transition into our favourites.
Yes.
This is like the OG Christmas film, black and white. It's a Wonderful Life. I
Yes.
haven't actually seen it in a long time, but I have seen it before. I don't know about yourself. And
Probably.
then
Like, I feel like I feel like it's a film my dad would have put on.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the things.
And then, obviously, like you said, next week we're going to do my favourite Christmas film, and then your favourite Christmas film.
Yes.
We'll not say what they are, but my one isn't a surprise. Like, it really isn't.
Yeah, if anybody's ever listens to these videos, they know. They know.
I'm going to have to watch it, and then I'll watch it again on Christmas Day, because I watch it every Christmas Day. Every Christmas
poor
Day.
wife. Mate, did you
It's
find
the
that?
only rule
Did
I
you
have.
find?
It's the only
Did you
rule I
find?
have about Christmas.
Did you find the Christmas tree topper?
No, I couldn't get my hands on it.
Mate, I know.
But I watch it every year. It has to. It's a tradition. It's a dog tradition that we watch it every year on Christmas.
Oh, you poor
So I
children.
will be doing it again.
Yes. Yes.
Even yes. Well, we can say it now if you want. I'm not bothered. Rachel has made it sort of known anyway.
Yes, we can all announce that congratulations to Mr. Doig and Mrs. Doig on their soon-to-be arrival of their first child.
Yes. My wife is pregnant, so I will be having my first child. So I will be interested, and my child will be watching Die Hard on Christmas, no matter the age, every year. It's just the rules. I don't make it, but I do make it. It's the rule that I make.
Anyone who listens to this who has kids understand that any rule you try to make, the child will not follow.
Well, if it's a boy, it'll like it anyway, because even if it's a girl, it'll like it because it'll be watching films from a young age.
Got to ask, right? At what point will you be disappointed with the child and go, Dad, can we not watch Frozen? You know, that's more Christmassy.
Well, since Frozen's out, I just won't introduce Frozen to a child and it'll not know it exists. These kids were talking about Frozen 5. What's that? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
It's a new Marvel film. It's rated R. You can't watch it. Don't worry about it. Oh my god!
It's one of those it's one of those subtitled films. It's really bad. You won't like it.
It's Japanese. Oh mate.
But yeah, so that's going to be a thing for. So next week is A Wonderful Life. And hopefully maybe a tiny bit more news, but I'd say that's the end of this episode.
Yes, it is. And as always, I've been Callum.
I've been Fraser.
Catch you next week.